struggling with weight and relationship with food my whole life. I would see something, I can just eat the whole thing right now, like in one sitting,
Mm.
like a box of Oreos or like at least a sleeve. Why did I just do that? I was ambivalent, lackadaisical in my own health journey.
Did you trust yourself around food before?
Definitely not. See that in the store at the checkout aisle, I'm gonna buy it. Not even taking a moment to think, am I hungry? Do I want this? I thought, all right, like this is me, and all right, I'm just gonna struggle for, or like this is gonna be hard for like all of my life. I did not understand really the mental work also involved in the process. I knew what to eat, but like not what my mental dilemma with the food or with the decisions were. So much of my food decision making, feeling like I need to grab for something, was so much deeper than a hunger.
Who are you now?
I am somebody who is way more in control. I can look at them and be able to walk away. And that is like, I really never thought I would ever be able to do that. I just feel so much more at ease than I ever thought I was going to be.
Finish this sentence. 6 months ago, I never thought I'd be able to blank.
Walk away from a donut.
Hmm.
Really and truly. That is something huge. Every cent of your investment is worth it. This was so life-changing. If you go to work with Jessica, she's super legit and the real deal.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Lawson, and I'm here with Hannah, who just graduated from coaching, which is very exciting. And want to start by kind of talking about where Hannah started off too. So, Hannah and I worked together for 6 months. On her intake form, when she said what she was most worried about when it came to working together, was she wrote letting herself down, investing financially, and then not following through. And honestly, that's the fear that a lot of people watching this right now probably also have. So, Hannah had her bariatric surgery. She worked with a nutritionist and others, and she was scared to do something else that she was worried wasn't going to work. So, today we're going to talk all about Hannah and learn a bit more about what was actually different for her this time. So, first off, Hannah, thank you for being here on this lovely Zoom afternoon.
Thank you for having me, Jessica. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So, let's start at the beginning. Who are you?
All right, so my name's Hannah, as you aforementioned, and yes, I had bariatric surgery or gastric sleeve surgery in June of 2023, and I had been, kind of struggling with weight and relationship with food my whole life. I think we had been maybe since, well, about middle school age, and it's always been something that's been in the back of my mind. And I think having had bariatric surgery, it really came to the forefront after about a year post-op in terms of trying to really figure out the whys behind the just insecurities with food and that decision making. I'm really trying to understand, my body and my mind and how they work together. And so I thankfully came across some of your calls like this with other, previous patients or clients, excuse me, and that, started me off on the journey.
Awesome. So, you had surgery June 27th, 2023. And my question for you is, why'd you have surgery?
Why did I have surgery? It's a great question. I was looking for a change in my life and my body. I was tired of living in the body that I was in, and I knew for my health I needed to get weight off, and I guess I also knew deep down that I needed to fix the root of the cause of my eating and food. Uh, I guess food attachments in sort, and I needed to take some drastic measures.
When you had surgery, did you think it was going to solve everything? Did you think like it was going to solve all your problems with food? Did you even
It-
know that like
right.
did you even know that what the reason why you gained the weight you needed the surgery in the first place was?
No, it's a good question. Initially, yes, I thought for sure, like, okay, having surgery, everything's gonna be fine now,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a one size fits all, uh, you know, process. And like, boy, was I wrong. But it's been an amazing journey, but certainly I had no clue what was to come after surgery. I did not understand really like the mental work also involved in the process.
Hmm. When do you think it became apparent that mental work was needed in the process?
Well, I, I would say early on, I started to realize, like, oh, maybe 6 months to a year post surgery, that it was like, oh, wait, I like, yes, I have this restriction on my body, like it was, cut up. And but now there's still things that are like recurring that were
Hmm.
before surgery. And if I don't get a handle on this or even understand what's going on, like, I'm gonna be in trouble again. And I think so. Probably about, yeah, I'd say about 6 months in 6 months post-op, I realized, like, ooh, I gotta work on this.
Okay. So it sounded like old habits started to come back.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
What were the old habits that came back first?
Grazing, I would say, just the uh, certainly the, what do I say? The resistance to, like, pre-planning for anything, and just like thinking that, oh, okay, because I have this restriction, I'm still going to be able to, like, you know, stop myself or this or that. I think that was the, not I think, it definitely was the impetus for, like, ooh, okay, I could really go down a spiral here, and I need to,
Hmm.
like, plan, or like, this is going to be a disaster.
What would a spiral look like? Like, I'm curious. I think that's different to everyone too.
Of course, I think that, well, thinking back to, prior surgery life, that uh, like I would see something, and it would be like, oh, I can just eat the whole thing right now, like in one sitting,
Hmm.
like a box of Oreos, or like at least a sleeve, and just be fine with that. Or even, or just like, okay, I'm gonna run through the drive-through, and it's whatever, because no one's watching me do this. And okay, I'm, like, that's fine, because, oh, you don't see it, it doesn't count. And so that kind of, it's like, and that would just start the process off.
How'd you feel when you did that?
uh in the moment, like, oh, it was satisfied, or I thought, okay, this is what I wanted, and great, and now I feel good. But after, it was like, oh, I feel disgusting, or like, this is, like, why did I just do that? So not like in the long run it made me feel any better than before I binged, or before I spiraled, no doubt.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would have never, like, even, uh like, we talk a lot about the stop method, and really just being mindful in your program. And that was not a part of my even repertoire, prior to doing any kind of work, mentally.
Hmm. Okay. By the time we first talked in November of last year, so November 2025,
Mhm.
you were then 2.5 years post-op. Take me into your day-to-day at that point.
Sure. So we definitely, yeah, talked a lot about, what does the current like eating habits look like, and would certainly, I would start off my day with like uh a proffee, like a protein coffee, and just like power through the morning on that, and have a substantial lunch, maybe a snack in between, like after work leading into dinner, and then maybe then dinner, and then some grazing after dinner, because whatever the kid, it was just like everything was out and available, and so there wasn't so much uh like kind of just knowing how the meals fit into my day, and how to really
Mm,
provide myself with that structure to really set myself up for success.
okay. What was food noise like in your head?
Food noise in my head, that's a good question. I always struggled with um not even thinking something through, that it was like, okay, the thought would be in my head like, "Ooh, I want a candy bar because that just sounds good," or like, "Oh, I see that in the store at the checkout aisle, I'm gonna buy it." And
Mm,
like not even taking a moment to think, am I hungry? Do I want this? What, like, why right now? Did I eat before? Just there was no um not repercussion, but no processing of like the why. And I think that was totally triggering for me, of like, okay, I'm just doing just because I've always done it.
mhm. Okay. When you came to me, you had already worked with a nutritionist and a health coach, right?
Yes.
Okay. What was your experience like with those?
Yeah, with prior coaches, I had definitely gotten a strong hold on uh given option, like many options for meal planning and various ideas, um and that was helpful in terms of like knowing what to eat, and but never, I could say nobody that I had worked with ever we hadn't really delved into like, okay, where are these food insecurities or addictions kind of coming from, like, where is it stemming from, what are the different patterns. So that was, just kind of hard. It's like, okay, I knew what to eat and why it was good to eat it, but like not what my mental, dilemma with the food or with the decisions were.
Yeah, it sounds like you know what's healthy, and that's not hard to figure out either, right? Like you can Google it, there's a variety of ways to figure that out.
Sure.
But you never really knew why you ate what you ate.
Yeah, exactly. And right, what was, why were certain patterns either helping or hurting my current status, for sure.
Yeah.
And really, yeah, and just digging into the root of like, all right, well, why, where did this even, start from, and how do we, shift some of it? And also not even realizing that it could be shifted, or at least worked on.
Yeah. A lot of people think that they're just this way and this is the only way they're ever going to be for the rest of their
Right.
life. And that
Yes.
is that. And the surgery didn't fix it. Why would some random woman on the internet be able to fix it?
1,000,000%. Yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt.
seriously.
Yeah,
That's exactly what they think. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in that same the same
Yeah.
same boat, for sure.
That's my next
Uh,
question is like, how'd you find me? Like, how did I come across your world?
yeah, it's a great question. I think that I had told you sort of in the beginning that I would, before having surgery, I would kind of just peruse the internet, whether it was Instagram, TikTok, of like just different people in the bariatric community. And your content just started to pop up in my, the For You pages or whatever it is and it was
Yeah.
like, okay, I had seen it even before getting the surgery. And I think I always knew,
Really?
yes,
You saw
yes. I don't,
me before your surgery?
yes,
Whoa.
seriously. Yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
yeah. And I remember thinking, like, okay, this lady like just seems to really know what she's talking about, and like in it drew to me like the um it's like, okay, you were a former, obese person, and you went through it. You really talked about, okay, you went through all these steps and with how you navigate your program. And I thought, okay, this sounds like something up my alley. And it took me 2 years to whatever to make the or take the plunge. But I think I just always knew from the way that you projected your voice, I guess, that it was like, okay, this seems like a good fit.
Hmm. Interesting. Huh.
Yes.
I did not know that.
I
So,
don't I guess I never share anyhow. Yes,
I
very
mean,
true
there's a
though.
lot of people that I've worked with that have followed me for a long time, and I
Right.
think one of the barriers is kind of being comfortable asking for help and
Yeah,
feeling like it's okay to get help.
for
And
sure. Yep.
like, is that anything that resonates with you or you ever felt?
Yes, 1,000,000%. And my biggest, whoa, sorry, my biggest uh fear for myself was like, okay, I've spent a lot of money on like a lot of people, or between surgery and then working with various people. And I'm thinking, like, wait, what would justify in my mind spending another amount of money to work with someone who, yeah, seems to know what she's talking about and does seem really legit, but like, what's gonna make me follow through this time, or not, or not give up on myself?
Mm,
I was very apprehensive for myself, just knowing my usual pattern, that I thought, oh, great. Is this gonna be a waste of my time again, or of my money, really? And I think that was a total, fear of mine. Yeah.
yeah. So were you worried about that before we talked because you didn't know what we would do together, or like you were worried about whether or not you would actually do the work, or
I, I get a combination of both. I think I knew that you knew what you were talking about, or what, or
yeah.
like that it was evident that you had this scientific background, and not, you had done all this research. And so just the way, to the way that you spoke about the surgery prior and post, it's like, okay, you gave way more intel than, my surgeon ever did, who my surgeon was incredible. But I never understood the mind aspect to it all, or the brain aspect, and how to help with these patterns. So it was more, just it was more of myself, like just a fear of me not putting in the proper work, just because I had done it countless times before, and been on a go again cycle.
Yeah.
So
Before we started working together, how much money do you think you spent if you had to guess?
jeez. So yeah, it's like, well, surgery was, I think I'd say, with surgery included, surgery was like 15,000, I think, and then I would say probably upwards of like $20,000 on, yeah, between coaches, workout programs, da da da, like, yeah.
Yeah,
in that general range.
totally. And yeah, for sure. And it's like, what was the moment that made you feel comfortable about even reaching out to me?
Um, what was the okay? I have the initial call. I think that you offer, I mean, I think I still even see it of like, oh, hey, I'm offering this free, workshop of just understanding what I do, and um hearing that spiel from you that night or what, I was like, okay, I need to, or like I want to do this for myself, and I was like ready to have just a shift in like reality for myself of really, okay, this is the time to like, if not now, when, and like just get it together, and let's get this done. So yeah.
Got it. And so you'd
Yeah.
worked with other coaches.
Hmm.
What made you willing to trust someone else again?
I want to know a little bit more about myself here, and what's going on. So I think it was like, all right, I just felt like, okay, you were a good person. You seemed like a good person to trust. And I was like, okay, here we go. We're like, I'm doing this. And I think, I don't, from just I guess your energy just made me feel like, okay, you know what? She's like, I got this with Jessica, or like, I'm going to learn something, and let's do it.
Okay, cool. So you joined. When did you first realize that things might be different? Or what were your initial thoughts actually at first?
When you told me that, which I even like, I got for like Hanukkah when you first sent out to me, like, here's your blueprint and like, this meal plan and everything. I was like, wow, this is like, okay, that felt like a kid on the first day of school, like with like all my materials ready to go. I'm like, mom, dad, or, and my brother, like, guys, I started this new program. Can you print this and like bind it for me? And I'm gonna learn, whatever. And so honestly, that was like like, all right, this is cool. And I'm ready to give it my all here. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. So when you think back about the last 6 months,
yeah.
like what do you feel like was different?
Different was, uh yes, I've had, coaches, you're checking in with them and you're doing, constant work, whether it's Zoom feedback or like in person, whatever, that whenever I checked in with you, that it just always seemed so like authentic and intentional with like the questions that you asked and how to kind of, if it was like, oh, I'm feeling, out of control today or lost or this just happened, like, it was like almost an ease of conversation from there, and never like, and I think you always say it in like the group coaching calls too. It's like, okay, none of this, everything is data, right? And nothing was like a net, like this is going to be like you did something wrong or what. It's like, all right, this happened, and let's like go forward with it. So I think that was like that set, you apart from other coaching, just because it all felt like it was just teachable moments, as I, say in my everyday life with students,
Yeah,
so it felt, it was just like a comfortable setting.
awesome. Yeah, data, not drama.
Data, not drama. I like
Yep.
it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
your number one goal when we first started working together was to reduce food noise and decision fatigue.
Yes.
That's what you wrote at the intake form. I am so curious, why was that the goal that you led with?
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess, it's always been hard for me. Like, we started off and I knew. or okay, I knew what was healthy and what wasn't. Like that, okay, I've got that since I was, a middle school age kid. But what was hard for me was knowing, like, all right, how do I navigate that? Yeah, there's like 10,000, decisions or menu options or you name it, and like I couldn't like categorize any of that or like help myself to narrow anything down to like just start simple or go here, because it was too much for me to like to take everything and narrow it down,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So we started working together. You got your blueprint. Walk me through the first few weeks. Like, what were things that you were trying out? What was clicking? What was not clicking? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed like having an overview of what it is that we were, working with, which was to, identifying different patterns, setting myself up in the morning and in the evening for like, the following day or the day uh forward. And just being intentional with everything was that really helped set things up well, because it just made me realize, like, all right, if I plan or if I even think about something for like 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, it really does help, solidify everything and just put things into place. Yes, you get, it's like, okay, we had the different you gave the meal ideas of that cookbook. Okay, that was super helpful, but I think more so the like idea of how to uh put together a day of food, like what do those times look like, why is that important, you know setting a time for like no more going in the kitchen minus water, like, all right, it all just made more sense as time went on.
Yeah. So it sounds like you knew what was healthy, what wasn't, but you didn't really know how to actually fuel your body and also do it in a way that's easier, more efficient, and helping reduce all the other things that you don't want. Does that feel right?
Totally, yeah.
Okay, cool. So by month two, your toolkit started becoming yours, and things like stop, the hunger scale, legs up on the wall, tea time. But when, or do you want to talk about any of those? Up to you.
Yeah, no, no, they all yes, all those things are valid and true. And I think I loved, um, we had taught, or I was struggling with, yeah, that in between work and dinner time, and I think it really was so grounding to have the tea time, which, if for any of you listening, it's like it's a good that you're separate, or I was separating my work day to my home day or to my home time,
Mm,
and so just kind of really changing, like, me, meaning my clothes, and then just getting myself into the nighttime, whatever, that was really, it helped kind of just recalibrate myself. And that was very, just fitting. And I've loved, continuing that, as I move through. And the legs up on the wall, try to do that a few times. It's just like, okay, that's definitely like in my weekly, togetherness, for myself. It just, that again, after a workout or even not workout, it just like, all right, you're just sitting there. You don't have any, like, I'm just staring at the wall. It's amazing. And you really do feel
Thanks.
like a sense of calm or peace. And that was a nice thing to start to implement
It
as well.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
totally.
then, week eight, week nine, we started to map out your triggers for really
Yes.
like the first time in your life you ever done that. And what did you find?
Yeah, that was very eye-opening, to to realize like, wow, so much of my food decision making, or like that feeling like I need to grab for something was so much deeper than a hunger. It was like, okay, I was looking for, or looking for connection, or less loneliness or boredom. That like there was so much more than like, was I actually hungry? And I don't think I ever or not definitely never paused enough to think about that beforehand. So that was totally, like enlightening.
Awesome. And then
Yeah.
end of January, you went on retreat for 3 days. You had no control over what was being served. How did you go? Or how did it
Yeah.
go?
So, right, we had talked about, yeah, that before, is okay, I'm going away with people I don't really know, didn't know anybody. And it was just like, okay, I trust this process, and knowing for myself that like, okay, I can survey things before I go to, eat them, and that I really felt like, okay, food did not control me during that weekend. Like I was able to have some, I could, yes, I didn't have control over what was there, but at least I was able to like make sound decisions before every meal. And also bringing, my own snacks and things. But I just leaving the weekend having felt like, okay, I didn't feel like, oh, I just, stuffed my face or overate every day. That it was like, okay, I'm leaving feeling like pretty, grounded spiritually, and, and like health wise. And that was amazing, because I do not think that I would have, felt that way before, having done this work with you.
Amazing. Now, and I love it when people go on a trip or something like that really early on because it's the perfect time to practice everything you're learning.
For sure.
Yeah. And so before our last call, you stayed at your niece's place and you were making breakfast for them with bananas, sprinkles, chocolate
Oh,
chips.
yeah.
How did that go?
Um, yeah, I was well, that right. That was another time like, oi, I'm about to be with kids that like they don't, I mean, they eat well, whatever, but like, okay, they're children. They're always, it's like snack city and whatever.
Sugar. Yeah.
Sugar,
Trigger
exactly.
foods galore.
Totally. So as I was making this, they call it banana chip is what it was like. That's what they wanted to have for breakfast. I'm like, all right, sure. So as I'm making this, my head too, it's like, okay, all this stuff, it's so trigger. It's like, okay, this all looks amazing. Yeah, I just want to, dive into this too. But then I thought, wait a second. I think, okay, yeah, I took one, I took a bite of what it was that they had on their plate, and then thought, you know what? Wait a minute. This doesn't even, it's like nothing's fueling me. I don't even feel like full at all from this, or what, like, let me make something, you know, decent here. And like they have food other than what the kids are eating. So to be able to again take a moment, reflect on the fact that I didn't feel good after eating, even just the bite of like banana sprinkled chocolate chip. Like, what the hell kind of nutritional value does that add to my, morning? And to be able to then pivot, um, it like I just couldn't believe that, or I was so happy that I was able to do something like that, because normally or pre-surgery or pre-working with you, like, yeah, that would have, okay, I screwed up the morning, and that also means everything else is screwed up. And I've been able to like, yeah, deviate from that all or nothing thinking, which is beyond amazing.
And that's hard. That's
Yes.
hard to do for sure.
Super. And it takes practice, no doubt. And it will continue to take practice, of course, but to know that I can is
Yeah.
huge. And that it's like, all right, you said from the get-go, okay, you can change patterns and you can create new structured habits for yourself. I didn't know that. I thought I thought, all right, like this is me, and all right, I'm just gonna struggle or like this is gonna be hard for like all of my life. But it's clearly, helped pave a good path. So,
Yeah. So let's talk now about the mental shifts that you've made. So first off, you know, what does your relationship with food look like now compared to November?
yeah, so I think uh that I feel such a sense of like what's the word, ownership over my choices and over what's
Hmm.
in front of me. Uh so even in situations where okay, I'm going out to eat at a restaurant maybe that I've never been to, or going to someone's house that I haven't been to before, that at least, okay, I have the wherewithal to like know how to look at a spread or a menu and be able to make the best choice, like given what I'm given, as opposed to just thinking like, okay, it's out of my realm, and so I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and then and I'll make tomorrow's a new day. But no, it's like, all right, every meal is a new thing, not just the next day or the Monday or whatever, which I, had easily done, for 30 years of my life, or however long, long enough time to like create these thoughts in my mind.
Yeah. So it sounds
Yeah.
like you feel like you have control.
Yes, tremendously, you know, way more of a hold than I used to.
Okay. When you walk into a kitchen now, what happens in your brain?
Go into a kitchen, and if it's a kitchen that I know, okay, I'm going towards like the area I know where whatever my protein is, or vegetable, whatever, that I'm getting like a balanced plate. If it's someplace that I'm not, used to, it's like, hey, let me like have a conversation with someone first of like, hey, what do you have, or what's, available in this realm, that again, I know how to navigate it, as opposed to just like going in, willy-nilly and having no idea. So I think it's again the mindset shift of like, all right, I have to, even if I haven't planned before, because I don't know what's there, at least when I'm there, I can ask before I make a decision, so that it's something sound and I feel good after it, because a lot of it is also having realized how different foods make my body feel, uh
Hmm.
you know eh, before eating it and after. Like that also was a big um thing that I kind of learned, working this time with you.
Let's play a game. I'm
I
coming
like
up with
games.
this on the spot, all right?
Okay, all right.
I want you to, I'm going to give you a scenario, and you tell me one word of what Hannah, 7, 8 months ago would have felt and what Hannah feels now. Okay?
Got it.
All right. Walking into a buffet.
uh, Deer in headlights.
Before?
Yeah.
Okay. How about now?
Now, okay, take a breath, and like, let's survey, you know, let's go protein first. I don't, just at least make a quick like action plan for myself, so that I'm not, just going like to the dessert bar right away.
Okay. Cool. How about an ice cream store?
Okay. Before, uh like balls to the wall or like nothing. It's like, all right, I'm just going for whatever the hell I want. And now, so like, again, I know I keep going back to this like taking a moment, but really like you solidified that for me of like pausing first is okay. Like that's good. It's good to pause for your think for a moment.
Yeah,
And really, so like just see what are the options. Okay, I can do a scoop of ice cream without a cone, and it's but like I'm getting the taste of what I want. uh Again, trying to get, maybe I like three different flavors, but okay, you know what, today I'm just gonna go with one, and I can just have one scoop, and it's like that is, you know s- plenty satisfying.
mm.
So kind of having like a little moment with myself of like, all right, what do you want versus what are you gonna do?
Hmm. That's really interesting. So it sounds like, if you think about the different sides of your brain, your rational decision making side and then
Right.
more of the emotional side, it sounds like in the past, the emotional side's the one that took over, but now the
Right.
rational decision making part is taking over more. Does that feel right?
Totally does. And even if in a, in a perfect world, okay, every time the rational brain is gonna, it's gonna win. But and what I think that I've loved most about working with you is realizing like, wait a sec, there are going to be days or moments when, the emotional toll is going to take over, the emotional brain is going to take over, but that doesn't mean the entire day or the entire 6 months is ruined. It just like, all right, now, you make the next best decision. And that is also like comforting for myself.
Amazing. Did you trust yourself around food before?
Definitely not.
Okay. Why?
uh I wasn't thinking before, or I think I was again going with that emotional side of the brain, and like not caring. Also, just like, okay, well, I had surgery, so like I'm definitely not going to be eating as much as I used to, so what does it matter? And
Mm,
really just having no, you know, like no rhyme or reason but behind the decisions.
okay.
So
Do you trust yourself now?
yes, way more. So I mean, in some situations, like, okay, donuts will still always be a trigger for me in the break room. I know we talked about that so much, but oh yeah, like I can look at them and be able to walk away, and that is like, I really never thought I would ever be able to do that. Like, even today, my one of my bosses had walked in because they were kids are celebrating. I'm a teacher. Kids are celebrating summer birthdays, and so they had brought in donuts, and it was like, oh yeah, do you want anyone want? And a couple of people, I thought, no, like I don't need it. Yeah, it looks delicious, but like I know I'm gonna feel terrible in 5 seconds if I eat
Hmm.
this, and like it's fine. I'll have and so to be able to do that is like the most empowering feeling. I gotta say,
Oh,
or whatever. So like,
Hannah.
I'm like, yeah, F the donut, it's like I could never do that before. I really couldn't. So, or like, okay, in real, I could, but I never did, because it was just my brain was like, no, no, you have to have it. And of course it's good and it's gonna taste good, but not even dreaming of the fact that what is it going to make me feel like after I take this in, especially after surgery. Um, just it's like, all right, crazy amount of sugar in your body and you feel awful. So,
Yeah. What
yeah.
surprised you most about this work? Like, what did you expect when you signed up versus what actually happened?
Uh, well, what did I did not, what I expected was to learn something new, because I thought, okay, I'm you know, investing in myself. So I something gotta come out of it. And but
Yeah.
I really didn't, I guess I didn't totally know what, you were gonna teach me, just because what I'd only seen you on the internet. It's like, okay, how am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
But when it's like the organization of it all, it's like you've been so yeah, just like warm and helpful and sincere and all that. And it was like, all right, I feel like I gained a friend too, and
Hmm.
know, and it's like, okay, this chick's legit.
Yeah.
Gained a lot, yeah, it's like, all right, you're, a good person beyond also knowing what the hell you're talking about in the uh you know health world. So,
Thanks, Hannah. I appreciate that. Okay.
a pleasure.
Finish this sentence. 6 months ago, I never thought I'd be able to blank.
Walk away from a donut.
Hmm.
Really and truly. It's like, yeah, yes, yes. That is something huge.
Yeah. I want you to take me back to a moment. Are you ready?
Okay.
Take me back to June 27th, 2023. You're lying on the operating table. They're about to do the surgery. I want you to compare that Hannah to who you are right now, sitting on Zoom in front of me. Like, who is Hannah now?
Oof. Like, I was terrified before this, in terrified in the sense of like, am I making the right decision for myself
Hmm.
right now? And am I gonna follow through here? Like, is this really gonna be as life-changing as I keep saying it's going to be and that I keep reading about? Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, so just really feeling like, okay, now or never, because like my health is really in danger here, and like I haven't been serious about this. And now, I was able to go. I don't know if I had ever shared this with you, but I blogged my journey for at least
Oh,
like for the first like year of pre-surgery to a year post-op. And now that I've done this work with you, I like want to or just kind of also
yeah.
blog about, the experience, this coaching experience. Uh, but it really just laid such a foundation of like, all right, I can be in control of a lot of aspects of the food that I put into my body and what I surround myself with. And it is so much um of a mind game, more and a like conversation with yourself, like, okay, I can make a change, um but I just have to like plan for that and have a an intention before going into any scenario, whether it's something that like I know is happening or something that I had no clue and it just came out of the blue. Like, all right, you can be in control of so many parts of it, even if it feels out of control. And so really taking kind of that mindset with me.
Yeah. If you had to go back to that version of yourself on the operating table and you could only say one thing, what would you say?
Ooh, like, what would I say to myself? Like, just keep your eye on the prize. Like, every or that this is transformation's not going to happen in a second or like right after the surgery, but like trust the process and just keep every day you got to show up. um and I think that, okay, we're now almost 3 years later. It's like, all right, yeah, just keep showing up, and that's the most important uh thing, even when it's hard. Because there were hard days, and there will still be hard days, but like, all right, if you're there and you get up and you show up, like something's gonna happen. So that's I just keep telling myself that too.
Yeah. Now take me back to November 2025. You're about to hop on Zoom with me. Maybe you were scared, maybe you were worried. Like, what would you tell that version of yourself?
What would I tell that well, like, I'm proud of you for that you even had the foresight to like reach out to a new person, to do something different because you felt like you needed to. And again, like everybody's going to be able to teach you something in life, and I think that that was like just I think I just innately knew like I was going to learn something from you, and so just all right, you keep trusting what you're the decisions you're making,
Mm.
because I made a good one, but I didn't know it then. uh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in one sentence, like, who were you before we started working together?
I was ambivalent and uh, lackadaisical, and just kind of just and unsure of like where I wanted to go next, just in my own health journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who are you now?
uh I feel like I am somebody who is way more in control, and at least that I know how to navigate myself in many situations, whereas before I did not feel confident at all to just to be able to like walk into a room and know how to you know stop myself from something, or that now I feel like okay, I've got way more of a handle on like who I am as a as someone who has to navigate food every day of her life. I mean, everybody does, but that I just feel so much more at ease with it, than I ever thought I was going to be.
Hmm. Okay. Love that. Now, let's assume there's someone watching this right now that maybe they were in your shoes. They had surgery a few years ago, still fighting food in their head, worked with other people, did a bunch of things, nothing actually worked. Like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them every cent of your investment is worth it, because you are really not only are you getting uh nutrition advice, but you're really digging deep into who you are and why you've made the decisions that led you to getting surgery, and also those issues post too, that you're really just kind of unpacking so many uh layers, and that's you know you can do that in therapy, yeah, but like this it's just way more uh structured and guided in a way that you're not going to be regretful of the time or the dollar amount. So it's like if you're even thinking about it, like just yeah, do it, and you'll feel good.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
what would you say to someone who thinks the problem is willpower? They just need more willpower, need more self-control.
No.
Okay.
Negative thinking there. What did you tell us one time? You are born, or you can change your behaviors, like that you can change up, uh, you can have all the willpower in the world, but like, but also like you have chemical differences pre and post surgery too, that like you got to just understand it all, to then know how to move forward after knowing like, okay, what actually happened in your body and what um neuron connections were worked on during the surgery too,
Yeah.
to totally to get it.
What would you say to someone who's about to have surgery and thinks that surgery is going to fix everything?
uh you are in for a ride, but it's gonna be worth it, and you're gonna but you have to know that, like, you're gonna have to put in work. Like, it's not just about getting rid of part of your stomach. Like, yes, you're gonna lose weight. That is fail proof or foolproof. How do you say? Yeah, foolproof.
That's losing weight's the easy part.
Exactly. And okay, you lose it drastically and in a fast fashion, but you have to be willing to, like, to dig deep to really to keep it off and to like want to make lasting changes. And it's not going to just happen from that part is not going to happen from the surgery. And it is life changing, and it is, you shouldn't regret your decision, but you're going to have to put in work. And that's just the bottom line.
Okay. What are your, I'm almost done with my questions, by the way. I know this has
Okay.
been a long time, but
No, it's okay.
um, what are your top, I don't know, one, two, or three, however many you want to share, wins from the last few months that you're most proud of?
I'm most proud of knowing how to set myself up for success. I'm happy that I know, like, the whys behind, like, where my decision making comes from, like, why, I that I understand my triggers. Okay, that really more basic. Yes, understanding, like, the what's something that's gonna, like, that could throw me off the rails. I'm happy to know that I know how to, in a moment of food crisis, that, like, I can walk away and that I'll be okay. And I won't end up, like, totally spiraling. Uh, and and to advocate for myself, I think, no is also huge, of just knowing what does helping myself even look like, and making that happen. Um, because it's also hard to know when to say, like, no thank you, or that food pusher idea, and that it's for your own benefit, not anything on them, who's ever offering. um so yeah, I think that the biggest takeaway is, yeah, knowing that, like, that I'm in control, and that it's like that I am, and that I can make decisions that are good for me, and feeling happy about that.
Awesome. Anything else you want anyone to know?
uh that Yeah, I was so apprehensive in the beginning, or not knowing uh whether or not this was a good, you know financial decision for me to make, going to work with you. But I think also having sent along, like, little blurbs from you to, like, my family when I wanted to get the the thing bound and everything, it was like, oh, this lady seems awesome, Hannah, like, good for you, and it's like, okay, to have gone through the program. Anyhow, no regrets. If you go to work with Jessica, it's a journey, and it's a great journey. And she's super legit and the real deal. So have fun along the ride.
Awesome. Thanks, Hannah. And you came to me already having surgery. You had already done what your doctor told you to do, and you still didn't feel free from food. But now you have control. And that's not because anyone handed it to you. I can tell you what to do, but you have to actually do it, right? So you did
Yeah.
the work that nobody ever sat you down and told you needed to do, and that's the work that actually lasts. And I just want you to know too, like I'm very proud. I mean, on our last call, I think I was crying. Like I am
I
so
know.
proud of
I,
you.
I
Yeah.
know. No, I know you are like I feel it and I'm so proud of me too. Like I really, just was so uh this was so life-changing. Like as, parallel to the surgery, I think anybody it's like, all right, you got to start this from the get-go or even before having surgery. Just really knowing yourself is so important.
Awesome.
So,
Thanks so much for
yes.
sharing, Hannah.